Is there a step-by-step formula to solve anxiety? The answer, in short, is no. There's not a step-by-step, 100% silver bullet way to solve anxiety, but just like a mountaineer that's climbing Mount Everest or some other tall mountain, there are certain pathways that you can go, pathways that have been tread before, that have worked for other people, that are going to make your path to conquering anxiety a little bit easier. So one of those paths includes meditation, which is why I want to talk about it today. I'm going to break this video into 3 parts. It's going to be talking about the science, about how meditation actually works, a good analogy, and then how you can get started if you do have anxiety, if you want to take one of these pathways in order to lower your anxiety over time. So the very first thing I want to talk about is the science, because this is very interesting. Meditation has been studied, especially when it comes to your stress response and how you respond to anxiety. And meditation has been shown time and again to lower anxiety. And it does this by changing the brain. Now, you can't just meditate once and be perfectly cured of anxiety or anything like that. That's not the case. But if you continue to meditate over time, over a series of 6, 7, 8 weeks on a daily basis, then you can train your brain to think differently about yourself, about life, about everything, really. You change your brain into a new default mode. And it does this by changing things like the hippocampus, like the cerebellum, those 2 areas of the brain that are associated with emotional regulation, like whether you fly off the handle when something small happens, or if your anxiety gets super ramped up, even though you know that it shouldn't be. The cerebellum and the hippocampus, they kind of help control that. The best way to explain how meditation helps your brain is to explain how your brain is probably working right now. So you can imagine that this house is your brain, and you are walking around the house, and every time you stumble across an object and you pick it up, that is like a thought. Now that thought could be anything. It could be, what am I going to do today? What am I going to eat today? Or it could be a worry. It could be, oh, what happens if I get sick? Or what happens if I get fired from my job? Or what happens if this person doesn't like me anymore? Or what happened in the past? That really makes me anxious. And your brain might be going through the house and just randomly picking up thoughts, but not putting them down ever. And so if you get to the end of the day and you have this default mode of just absorbing all of these thoughts and never setting them down, you will feel very overwhelmed. But with meditation, you can train your brain to a new default mode. So instead of viewing these various thoughts that enter your life, like these objects in a house, instead of viewing them like super important pieces of gold, your brain will view them how they're supposed to be. They're just thoughts. They're just kind of figments of your mind. And yes, some of them are important, but some of them are not important. And some of them you should focus on, and other ones they're okay just to let them go. And this is something that you need to train your brain to do. You can't just logically think, okay, I'm not going to worry anymore. That doesn't work. But you can train your brain over time through things like meditation in order to have this new default mode of allowing things just to slide off your back a little bit more. So you're not picking up and ruminating on thoughts a lot like you used to in the past. So one of the best illustrations of what meditation does with the brain is what this cat is doing right now. He's just relaxing and he's looking out the window. Now, think about the times where you're not doing anything in particular. Maybe you're waiting in line at the grocery store, at the doctor's office, or what have you. What is your mind doing? Chances are it's probably being very anxious, worrying, thinking about things in the past, or maybe horrible scenarios in the future, or what you need to do that day, just kind of constantly running through things. But with meditation, you're going to be a lot more like this cat here. Right, teddy bear? And just relaxing when it's time to relax. And your mind won't be thinking as much, it won't be rushing around as much, and it's a much more peaceful way to live. So what's the best way to learn meditation? Well, I think the best way to learn is online. You can do it through looking up free YouTube videos. I also have a free 7-day meditation course. I'll link in the description. You can look up blog posts, however you want to do it. There's lots of resources out there to learn mindfulness-based meditation. And that is one of the meditation types that has been shown time and again to lower anxiety. So if you want to train your brain to a new default mode so you're not nearly as anxious, go ahead and check that out. And leave a comment down below. Let me know, have you meditated before and what was it like for you? I want to hear about it. Let's talk about it in those comments down there. All right, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.